E aí pessoal, sejam todos muito bem-vindos ao canal Arte, Poder e Fúria. Aqui quem fala com vocês é o William. Antes de mais nada aí, queria agradecer a todos que são inscritos aqui no meu canal. O LeBron ainda tá machucado. Vai ser nesse jogo. Não vai ser nesse jogo que ele vai voltar ainda. Acabei de ver ali. Então vamos lá enfrentar lá o Utah Jazz em casa. Esperando aí que a gente possa continuar essa boa fase de vitórias. E antes de mais nada aí, queria agradecer de novo aí a todos que são inscritos aqui no meu canal. Se puderem deixar o like, compartilhar e ativar o sininho para novas notificações. E bora lá para mais um jogo. Vou pegar o Utah. A gente tem que continuar nessa... Tem que continuar nessa crescente aí de vitórias. Vocês viram ali que o Cole voltou. Então vou começar com ele. E vou começar com o Ray aqui para deixar o time um pouquinho mais afiado. A gente precisa ganhar esse jogo, como eu disse, para continuar aí nessa boa fase. E bora lá.
Welcome, folks, to what promises to be a great Tuesday night of the NBA on 2K Sports. Alongside my broadcast partner, Steve Kerr, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Hart. The starting fives for our game. Here are tonight's starting lineups. And guys, what are we going to be looking for in this one from Faber?
Yeah, what he gives his team, to me, guys, is a defensive anchor in the paint. Someone who can clog the lane and really block a lot of shots.
And it's so important to have that kind of player, Steve. I mean, very few teams can boast a man with his prowess as a shot blocker.
For the Miami Heat, they are coming off a good outing against the Bucks in Milwaukee.
And I think, Kevin, it really showed how important it is to have a strong bench performance. You go out on the road, you can't rely on your starters night in and night out. The reserves have to contribute and help them out.
I think we definitely saw that, Steve, throughout the game. They were really
A bola já começou com a gente. Vamos ver se a gente começa bem a partida. Hey, Ray.
Well, it was a little bit of a surprise, guys, going into last season when Ray Allen signed a contract with the Heat. He took less money than the Celtics offered. And no question about it, there was some anger from his former teammates in Boston when he left.
Wade outside. He kicks it to Cole. This one for three. Nice D from Faber. So it's Utah now.
A bola não quer cair, hein?
I don't think joining the Heat was just about jumping on a winning bandwagon. I think there'd be some issues for him in Boston.
Well, there were a lot of rumors that he and Rajon Rondo didn't quite get along, and Allen wanted maybe a bigger role offensively. And in fact, his minutes went down last season with the Heat, but clearly fit in well. Came off the bench and really fit nicely.
Começou bem o Utah começou bem. Abriu 4-0. Faltando 6 minutos aí para acabar o primeiro tempo, primeiro quarto. A bola não cai. Mas começou muito bem o time do Utah, hein? Boa, Wade.
So, I mean, I was pretty good from 2 feet and in myself. That's a gimme there.
Dá uma animada aí no jogo. 4-2 ainda pro Utah. Matamos o jogo.
And Kevin, in that game, we saw a lot of slop.
4-4.
Yeah, and that did make things really easy, guys. Nice to get a win if you're on that side of it and not to have to work too hard for it.
Trey Burke, the National College Player of the Year at Michigan last season. He led the Wolverines in points, assists, steals, and blocks even. And, of course, led them all the way to the NCAA championship game. He's basically a winner. That's what he is.
The first one falls. And Burke declaring for the draft, Clark, after his sophomore season in Michigan.
Yeah, he was driven to be an outstanding player coming out of high school. A little under the radar as a high school
Utah
player.
nesse comecinho de partida tá me surpreendendo bastante. Tô jogando Ray. O Ray não entrou bem. Não entrou bem. O Utah já abre 4 pontos de diferença. Boa, Ray. Agora foi bonita. Caiu aí a vantagem para um ponto. Faltando 4 minutos. Mas tá jogando bem o Utah Jazz, hein? Bola é nossa.
Great year for him last year.
Jogando bem o Utah, hein?
5 assists and 5 rebounds. And he was the top dog for them scoring the basketball last year.
Yeah, Steve, he led the way for everybody with his ability to finish off his chance.
Now, here's Chalmers. After the miss from Burke. And he was fouled.
Alta.
2 free throws now for him.
Coming off a title last year, you always wonder if a team will maybe relax a little bit. They usually won't admit to it, but Chris Bosh only said it at times that this team
Boa! 9-8 Miami.
That is true for every team, Clark, that comes off a championship, but they usually don't admit it like Bosh did.
Well, you know what? Once you've won it all, there is a bit of a relief and a little malaise that may settle over you, but I've always...
Utah, gente. Utah jogando muito bem. Muito bem o time do Utah.
I think it's impressive that they fought back to the finals once more because that shows they eventually did recapture that.
Boa, Bosh.
Beautiful double clutch. Great job to get the shot past the defender.
Jazz have gotten 4 of 6 field goals after the drop in the first quarter. And there's a call on Bosh. That's foul number 2 for him.
That's 2 fouls for him very early in this ball game. He'll probably have to spend some time on the bench before halftime.
And Utah making a change here. Beatrice is checked in. Now here's Beatrice. Here is Favors. Here's Burke. 5 to shoot. Burks. No good from outside. The Heat with the lead. Chalmers with it. Now defended by Beatrice. To the wing right side. Here's Cole.
Boa, Cole.
Nice way there to get your first basket of the game.
The Jazz shooting it from their comfort zone so far.
Conseguimos abrir 13. Conseguimos abrir 3 pontos de vantagem. Aí lá vem o Utah de novo. Boa, boa, boa. Essa Wade.
And this is their first time matched up with this year's Heat team. Burke with it, and Allen picks him up defensively. Here's Favors. Good. Favors has got his second bucket of the night.
They've done well at taking advantage of some late defensive rotations and getting the ball into the paint.
Yeah, they've been the aggressors, Clark, and getting the ball inside, into that lane area has been huge for them.
Here's Burks. Lays it up and banks it in.
You know, they're being very one-dimensional right now, going to the post every time. But if it works, you don't need another dimension.
Well, they're taking this defense to task, quite honestly. Every one of their last 10 points have come in the paint.
Now here's Bosh. Drench pulls it in. Utah leading. Down low. And there's the slam dunk to finish it off. Stupendous rush to the rim and a mighty slam on the end of it.
Abriu 3 pontos.
Pretty soft D. I can't help but say that.
Well, let's see how that impacts things here. Because those kinds of plays sometimes can be game changers on both
difícil o
sides.
jogo.
And they force the miss with that good defensive rotation. They're playing well together as a unit.
Burke kicks to Burks. Looking for Favors. He gets it there. The feed now to Burks. And again, it's Utah.
Ó,
And yeah, they're moving the ball now. 8 of their last 10
de tempo, né?
coming off assisted buckets.
Steve, nothing makes a coach smile as much as pure, selfless teamwork.
And Miami calls their first time out of the game.
It's been several years now since Andres Beatriz looked like he even wanted to be on the basketball court. But last year he said he did some mental rehab before the season and he's looking for a fresh start. And I think it showed.
So Utah going with an almost entirely new group here. Joe Barry's checked in for Beatrice. Williams comes in for Derek Favors. Gordon Hayward's checked in for Jefferson. And it's Rush.
boa, Wade.
And let's go to the sideline with Doris Burke.
Forget about being too high. Let's press the action and try to find as many shots as we can. He also wants them to play very physically. Impose your will on them, he said. Let them know who they're up against. It's still very early in this game, so there's plenty of time for those changes to take effect, Kevin.
Thanks, Doris. And for Beatrice, Steve, he admitted that he'd suffered from some confidence issues.
Well, anytime a player loses his confidence at the free throw line, particularly a big guy, it changes the way you play. Now you don't want to attack. You don't really want to aggressively go after the ball because you're afraid of being at that foul line. So a situation like this, you can understand how he could lose some of that enthusiasm for the game. Great interplay there between those two teammates.
Shot and game clock separated by 5. Here's Oden, and the shot is good.
Boy, this game is off to a terrific start.
No doubt. On both sides, high-octane offense.
Lucas against Beasley. Lucas the pass to Hayward. Wide open look, and Utah again with the bucket.
Vai terminar aí o primeiro quarto.
Lets it go from deep. A free-flowing first quarter. Great scoring through one. Jazz out in front, up by 4. And we'll be back shortly for the start of the second quarter.
Sunday, November 24th, Kevin Durant and the Oklahoma City Thunder go up against Zach Randolph and the Memphis Grizzlies. Do not miss it.
Now the second quarter getting ready to start up. And a closer look here at the scoring breakdown for the Jazz.
Well, I like the fact they've already been getting a lot of high-quality shots in the paint.
And they're sharing the ball, too, which I love. They're piling up the assist. We're seeing great offensive movement.
And now let's check out the lineups courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go. Here's the second quarter to play. On the court for the Heat, you've got Oden, D-Wade out there with Beasley. Then there's Lewis, and it's Haslem in at the small forward spot. The Heat trail by 4. Wade outside. Another miss by Wade.
And it is very dangerous to leave him open like that. Lucky break for the defense that he missed it.
No good from Lucas.
Hey, I like creativity in the circus finish as much as anybody. But you better be sure you got a chance to make it.
Lewis dishes to Haslem. Puts up a 3. Lucas with the rebound.
Now, the defense backs off a little bit because he does not shoot the ball well from the three-point line.
For the Jazz last season, it really became an issue about the log jam inside. They had 2 established starters in Jefferson and Millsap and 2 young up-and-comers in Cantor and Favors, and there was an expectation that somebody would be moved, but the trading deadline passed and they were all still there.
And for the Heat, they're shooting at 44%, pretty reasonable. Beasley kicks to Wade. Drills the elbow jumper. Wade's got 7 points.
You know, he'll make you scratch your head and throw your hands up as a defender. You just don't know how to play.
Well, you would have thought that the Jazz would have made a deal one way or another, but it was hard for them as they were in the thick of a playoff race at the time, Steve, sort of tied their hands.
Well, if they weren't in that race, I think they might have sent 1 or 2 of those guys out to try to get some more assets for the future. as it was, they ended up losing Millsap and Al Jefferson. So it's incumbent on the young talent in that front court to now develop and really take over.
And there's the call on Udonis Haslem. That's his first foul. Here is Favors. He had 16 points in the win against the Magic in Orlando. And it's out of bounds. The Heat will take it the other way. And now, courtesy of the 2K leaderboard, here are the teams that led the NBA in block shots last year. 5th, the Jazz.
I don't think you can ever underestimate the effect that a few block shots can have on your opponent. I mean, it can get into your head as an offensive player. You're going in there thinking you've got a clear path, and then you see the ball going behind you in reverse. I mean, that can be major intimidation and affect your game.
Here's Burke after the made shot from Dwayne Wade. Kicks it to Burke. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2.
What you like with Trey Burke, he really can do it all in the point guard position. Pass, shoot, he's very poised, under control, and a good leader as well.
And back to Burke at 6'1", not elite size or great athleticism, Clark, for the point guard position, some say.
But he makes up for that lack of size and athleticism with smarts and a desire to get better and a really excellent shooting stroke. So I think when you look at Burke, he's a guy that's going to continue to get better.
This game has been very close in a lot of areas, but rebounding is one thing that they've been able to dominate.
Yeah, they chased down that pumpkin often.
Now, here's Burke. He had a 27-point outing in their last game against Orlando.
And Kevin, don't forget about his playmaking in that game as well. It was wonderful in terms of attacking the defense and figuring out when to shoot and when to find teammates.
Timeout call, the Heat.
You know, he wants to tinker a little bit, and he's taking the time to do so right here.
Yeah, I think you're right. He just didn't like some of the things he saw out there. A bit uncomfortable and wanted to talk it over.
And Miami going with a whole new group out there. Let's catch up with Doris from the sideline.
Hi, guys. Over that break, I was able to catch the message Tyrone Corbin was giving to his team. He told his guys that they needed to be much more patient at the offensive end. They're wasting possessions, he said, with bad shot selection. Maybe making those early adjustments will give them time to judge their effectiveness by halftime. We'll soon find out, Kevin.
Always great to hear from you, Doris.
Make it 10 of their last 12 points coming off assists.
Wow, are they moving the ball right now? They look good.
Allen kicks to Jones. Feeds 2 for nothing. Utah with the rebound. Favors got his 3rd rebound on the night. They've got the Hawks ahead of them in their next game, and it's in Atlanta. That's game 4 of 4 out on the road for them. Burks can't get it to go.
Usually, if he gets to the rim, he's converting it into points. But the defense stood tall there.
Pattying up top, guarded by Bird. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
Talk about the definition of a role player, guys. What the perfect role player should look like, I think it's Shane Battier. I mean, he's as good as it gets in that role. An elite defender, can guard anybody, and he can hit the 3 at a pretty good rate. Smart, good passer. Just the epitome of what you want in a role player.
Jeremy Evans checks in for the Jazz. And, you know, you talk about Battier, he knows how to play his role. He doesn't try to do too much.
And he's got a great basketball IQ. Understands angles and percentages. And different positions. And a terrific weak side defender. He's always the guy there waiting to take a charge.
Remember last year in the playoffs?
O Utah tá jogando muito hoje, mas tá jogando demais esse time do Utah. Abriu aí 4 pontos. Não conseguimos. A gente não tá conseguindo encostar. O Utah tá jogando muita bola. O time tá errando demais.
Jazz leading by 5. Burks the pass to Jefferson. Lets it go from 14.
Olha.
Some shot is good that time.
Difícil o jogo de hoje.
6 points. And back to Coach Eric Spoelstra. As a guy who got his start as a video coordinator, picking the game apart. Steve, he's very comfortable with the new advanced stat analytics in the NBA.
Yeah, and I've had a chance to speak with him quite a bit. He says that the way they use advanced stats is just as a conversation piece in the coaching room. Their analytics department will bring them various information, and it will force them to ask questions, which is very healthy for a coaching staff to do.
É, e o Utah hoje tá jogando muita bola.
Well, guys, Alec Burks out of Colorado is an athletic slasher with a nice tight handle. He was taken 12th overall back in 2011, still young and developing, and I think he has tremendous
Boa,
upside.
Ray!
The Jazz lead is cut down now to just 7 on the bucket from Ray Allen.
Well, offensively, he needs much less.
Mas a vantagem ainda é toda do Utah Jazz. Tá jogando muito, mas muito.
You can attribute it to his concentration, where he has incredible focus, or you could just say he's one of those gifted scorers.
And for Alec Burks, it took him a while to get into the rotation with the Utah Jazz, but the injuries they dealt with provided him with an opportunity later in the season.
Well, he's always been a very athletic guard, and he showed some improvement last year on his long-range shot. I think that's been the biggest weakness for him, but if he can hit that shot consistently, he's going to be tough to keep off the floor.
Here's Allen after the made shot from Evans, and that one's good. And that's now 7 points for Allen.
You know, something we're seeing less and less of these days, that little finger roll.
Here's Burke. Again, the Jazz score. 1:31 left now here in the second. Allen outside. Over to the wing. It's Anderson with the drive. Good ball movement here by Miami. No good off the back of the rim.
Hard work on the glass once again, fellas. They put a lot of effort into their rebound.
Well, you get more rebounds, you get more possession, more shots at the hoop. Oftentimes that decides the game.
The Heat trail by 9. Here's Renato. Battier left side. And that's out of bounds. Miami will retain possession. These are the players who had the most success from deep last season. 5th is Shane Battier.
Anytime you can shoot that high a percentage from behind the arc, that's not only a good year, that's an outstanding year. This season,
Boa, Mário.
from behind the arc.
É, mas tá difícil. Abriu 7 pontos de vantagem.
And Ray Allen gets the whistle that time. So that will be his second foul of the game. We're in the bonus. We'll go to the line to shoot 2. The Jazz have been good at the free throw line. This one, 7 of 8.
Yeah, basically a middle-of-the-road type free throw shooting team, about 76% a year ago.
And Utah making a change here. Ennis Cantor's checked in for Gobert. Williams comes in for Jeremy Evans. Gordon Hayward's checked in for Jefferson. And it's Rush in for Alec Burks. Allen for the 3.
He hit a 3 in the first, but so far has been unable to capitalize here in this quarter.
Rush's shot is off. The Heat trail by 8. Allen dishes to Anderson. The pass to Jones. That's short off the rim.
Ill-advised shot selection right there, Clark.
It really was. I mean, very low percentage shot there.
Hayward from outside. And it would have counted had it's fallen, but it's offline. And we finish one half of basketball. Jazz lead by 8. And time now to go courtside as we send you over to Doris Burke from the sidelines. Doris?
Thanks, Kevin. Coach, what do you think the team needs to do differently on the defensive end in the second half?
Well, a little bit more activity. We just have to be committed to what we do. Our identity, aggressive, but more consistent.
Coach, thank you so much. Over to you guys.
All right, Doris, thank you. And folks, stay right where you are for the halftime show. Then we'll be back for the start of the second half in the third quarter.
Now, presented by Sprint.
And we play 2 quarters out at American Airlines Arena, and a great game is in progress for our halftime show. The Jazz have been rolling along. It's been a tough start for them this season, looking to make up some ground here tonight. Alec Burks leads the team in scoring. He's got 8 points and 3 rebounds as well. And a tough matchup, but the Heat staying afloat. We've seen all these blocks, and they are locked in defensively, giving up no easy buckets. Dwayne Wade's the game's leading scorer. He's up to 9 points, and he's helped out with some key rebounds as well. And a look now at some games that have yet to tip off. The Bulls will square off against the Nuggets out in Denver. Fans on both sides looking forward to that game. That one tips off at 7 p.m. Eastern. And one game also on the docket. The Trailblazers will square off against the Bucks. So some good interconference play in that one. That one starting at 7 o'clock Eastern. And another game that's coming up, it'll be the Raptors out at Air Canada Center against the Thunder. Start time, 7 o'clock Eastern. And we'll be heading back to the court for the rest of our coverage as we go to Kevin Harlan, Steve Kerr, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke for the second half.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint. And the third quarter about ready to get underway. D-Wade really playing well in this one.
I know we've said this many times.
É, pessoal, o Utah Jazz aí vai surpreendendo o Miami. A gente tá perdendo dentro de casa. Diferença aí de 8 pontos. Se a gente consegue voltar aí no terceiro quarto um pouquinho melhor, porque tá difícil. Caiu para 6. Caiu para 6. LeBron James não tem ainda a previsão de estar uma volta. Tá difícil.
Chance to check out some of the stats on Mario Chalmers, how he performed last season. 17th in three-point field goal percentage. He was also among the league leaders in
Difícil,
steals.
mas não é possível.
And Steve, how about the three-point shooting? I mean, he was one of the 20 best in the league, as you said earlier. I mean, this guy was really reliable from long range, a real weapon back there for him.
The Heat trail by 8. Anderson outside. Back to Chalmers. Here's Varnado. That's good, and so Chalmers with the assist. Chalmers has got his third assist on the night. Clark, they've shared the load offensively.
Yeah, they've done a nice job with it, Kevin and Steve. I mean, everybody's touching the ball. There's a nice load for what they're doing offensively.
That makes it so much tougher to defend, too, when you have to account for all 5 offensive players, and the ball just moves so quickly. Tough to defend that.
From the sideline, let's catch up with Doris Burke.
Guys, last year, Dwayne Wade set a career high for field goal percentage at over 52%. D-Wade said, quote, back when I had the team, I was the top player. I had to shoot shots I wasn't comfortable with. I made some, I missed a lot. I have a different role on this team.
Boa, Chris Anderson.
So I need to take shots that come and understand which shots are my shots. Kevin, you gotta love the dedication to efficiency for the team's sake.
That's why he's
Caiu bem a diferença do jogo.
Talking about Chris Anderson, guys, the Birdman. We weren't sure if he was going to be able to fly last season, but he did latch on with a very good Miami Heat team who was in need of some help rebounding, which is his strength. He still can do that and block shots as well.
Now Anderson, Richard Jefferson missing on the 3. And the Birdman, a fan favorite from his days in Denver. The tattoos, his kinetic style of play, certainly drawing attention.
Well, he's an athletic presence inside at both ends of the floor. Defensively, he can slide his feet and block shots. And offensively, he's a guy who kind of hangs out on the weak side and finishes plays by catching and dunking.
And we're just around 2 minutes into the final half of play now. Burks kicks to Jefferson. Cantor inside, defended by Varnado. The shot's good from Cantor. Cantor's got 6.
Boy, the D has to show a little more fight on the interior than they did on that trip. They got a battle inside.
Well, this game has been tough, Mark. I mean, they're getting after it. And I think we're starting to run a little bit low on energy, possibly.
Now, here's Burke. After the miss from Chalmers. Burke with it, now guarded by Chalmers. Burke's with it. He's against Allen. Here's Cantor. And he makes it look easy, dunking it hard with one hand. An indication there of why the scoreboard looks like it does. Very passive defense.
But the finish was anything but passive.
He hammered that down, Clark. Superb above the rim action.
And the Heat call time here.
You know, Burks is a shooting guard by trade, but last season, guys, he showed that he could handle the ball and run a team in a pinch. Not something you'd want him doing all the time, but it's nice to have that as a plan B or C if you need it.
A different look for Miami. find out what Doris Burke has for us.
Guys, over that last break, I listened to Eric Spoelstra address his team. Back to fundamentals. That's what he told them. Specifically, he'd like to see them implement the pick and roll as often as possible. The next message he had for them was that they should be attacking the basket on offense. He felt very strongly that the defense they're up against is vulnerable down low. Those are likely not the last adjustments they make today, guys. There's still time left in this one. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks, Doris. Burke's very quick and very athletic. Even standing 6'6", he's able to stay with most point guards defensively.
Yeah, a bit of a late bloomer physically going into college at Colorado, but excellent athleticism, and I love the defensive versatility that he provides to their team.
Here's Haslam after Ennis Cantor's basket. Bosch kicks to Wade. Fires from deep. And that one's good. Wade's got 12. Jazz leading by 3. Burke the pass to Davis, and he gets it to go.
What a floor leader he's been at the offensive end.
You know, he's done a terrific job of moving the ball around, sharing it, dispersing it, and running the show.
Now here's Wade. He's got 12. And another basket for Miami.
They've worked the ball around very well. I'll tell you what, they continue to find good looks from mid-range.
Well, they're just taking what the defense is giving them because the defenders are backing off and daring them to shoot.
And the first time out of the game called for Utah.
God, what a series it was in the finals a year ago. Such great basketball. Two teams that like to play up tempo. And I'll tell you, the Spurs and Miami, they had the series in the bag. They were one play away from wrapping it up in Game 6, but the miracle comeback from the Heat that led to the Game 7 victory and another title for the Miami Heat.
And the Jazz making a change here. Hayward's checked in. And there's the call on Udonis Haslam. That's foul number 2 for him. And the Jazz with some changes. Marvin Williams is checked in for Ennis Cantor. And Lucas subbed in for Burke. On its way from Hayward for 2. Hits the front of the rim and out. It was interesting because the games themselves weren't particularly close through the first half of the series. The things started to get really tight when they left San Antonio after Game 5.
How about that, Kevin? You talk about things tightening up. We had a game for the ages in Game 6. 28.6 seconds to go. Spurs plus 5. Miami needed a miracle, and they found it in the form of timely three-point shooting and got some help from the San Antonio Spurs missing some free throws.
Game 6 was about as intense an NBA game as you'll ever see.
Oh, it was off the chart. Absolutely fantastic.
And out of bounds as Utah gains possession. With this pause in the action, let's show you the teams that have scored the most points in the league last season. The Heat in 5th.
Boy, they do an excellent job offensively. Most of the season last year, they were really in sync. A nice flow and rhythm to their offensive game. But anytime you score the points they did, it's about unselfishness and trusting each other.
Burks. And he overshot that one, missing. It's hauled in by the Heat. Wade's got 3 rebounds so far in the game.
Even though he isn't having the best of games from the floor, it hasn't seemed to hurt him.
Now, here is Haslam. Here's Lewis. And the shot is good. Lewis has got his first points of the night.
Oh, where was the box out?
Diminuímos aí a vantagem para 1 ponto. Jogaço complicado, mas o Utah tá na frente ainda por 1 ponto. Faltando aí 1 minuto e 13. Pega. Que jogo complicado, que jogo complicado. Boa, Wade. Viramos o jogo.
Third foul so far. And the Jazz with some changes. Evans, he's checked in for Favors. Rush comes in for Alec Burks. And it's Burke in for John Lucas. Now, here's Bird. He has 6.
Well, he's really a do-it-all point guard offensively. He can shoot from the outside, penetrate, makes good decisions, whether on the drive and kick or in the pick and roll.
Yeah, I like him because of his shooting ability and his smarts. He's a guy who thinks the game. He's more athletic than you think. He has tremendous ability to shoot it off the dribble, and that makes it tough to deal with him, especially when he's involved in pick and rolls. And he does a nice job of keeping defenses off balance. You know, you look at the flex offense that Utah utilizes, and it requires that players, one, be versatile and multi-skilled, but also that they have good basketball IQs. You need to be able to screen and read defenses effectively. And that's not easy, but it's certainly a good way to play if you've got the right people.
Gentry checked in for Jeremy Evans. It's Bosch with the drive.
Boa, Bosch!
Bosch has got his second bucket of the night.
Viramos o jogo. Faltando 28 segundos para acabar o terceiro quarto.
Now, here's Bird. He's got 7. Williams dishes to Keith.
Boa.
The basket is good off the assist from Williams.
Faltando 15 segundos.
Points here in this quarter.
Que jogaço!
100% from the field this quarter.
Passes to Lewis. Back to Wade. Expanding his range. Can't get it to go.
Perfeito, hein, Wade?
And we've reached the end of the third quarter. Just a terrific game so far. Heat out front, leading by a point. Back after this from the American Airlines Arena.
Wednesday, November 20th, Zach Randolph and the Memphis Grizzlies hit the road to battle it out with the Golden State Warriors. Hoops action.
Let's take this opportunity now to show you our State Farm assist of the game.
Well, we might as well call it the State Farm play of the game. This was just a marvelous piece of coordination between two teammates, completely in sync on the alley-oop.
Começar o quarto tempo com uma vantagem mínima de 1 ponto.
Lewis is out there with Chris Bosch, and it's Haslam in at the small forward. That's the group in the game for the Heat.
Falta.
And as he has gained more experience in the league, Wade has taught himself to rely a bit more on his jump shot and a little less on attacking the rim, but still,
Boa, Wade.
his confidence really
Abrimos a 3 pontos.
And Wade, still a player who thrives on getting in the lane, flanking for his career, under 30% from long range.
Yeah, you know, his jump shot is more of a mid-range weapon, quite honestly. He loves the bank shot, loves the floaters, and is always looking to get somebody in the air.
Boa, Bosch!
Usually, more times than not, guys fight, and he gets free throws. He gets to the line. You're right.
Jazz trail by 3. Takes the 13-footer. Now here's Lewis. And here's Wade. And he drops him the layup off the bench. And now a 5-point Heat lead. I'm breaking down some numbers here. The hustle steps for
Viramos o jogo. 62 a 57, faltando 5 minutos.
And I'll tell you, the other thing that's going to factor is the transition game. They're scoring a lot of points on the fast break.
over to the left wing. Here's Cole.
Boa, Cole.
Unstoppable offense from both teams. I love the pace this game has been played at.
So does everybody else in the building. This has been a fun one.
Now, here's Burke. Here's Hayward, and he lays it straight in.
Nothing too fancy, just simple execution. That's getting the job done when they need to make every possession count.
I agree, Clark. They need stops, and they can't afford any wasted possessions. Those inside shots are really high percentage looks.
Jazz trail by 3, and a foul on Dwayne Wade. That is his first foul of the game. And the Jazz with some changes. Favors comes in for Gordon Hayward. And Alec Burks subbed in for Brandon Rush. Cantor kicks to Jefferson. The Jazz working the ball around now. A slam dunk by Favors.
Right back to the basics there, using the one-hand slam for that.
Doesn't he make the basics look pretty exceptional?
Yeah, he does. They look sweet when he does them.
Well, he should stay with those basics in a tight ball game because we've got one here tonight.
Here's Bosch, following the bucket by the Jazz. Dishes it to Burke to take the lead. And again, it's Utah.
And that's another assist for a team that is putting on a clinic on how to share the ball.
I just love the mentality they've had. If the shot isn't there, they're not forcing anything. They're moving it side to side and working to get a good shot.
And the Heat call time here. We've seen Derek Favors really having a great game.
He's on fire. They needed to put their heads together to figure out how to get the ball out of his hand.
A moment to check in with Doris Burke. Doris?
Well, guys, over that last break, I listened to Eric Spoelstra address his team. He was riding them pretty hard for the number of silly fouls they've committed in this game. He said, listen, we need to have some defensive discipline. Stop fighting on the shot fakes, stop reaching in, and stop giving them 3 points at the free throw line. We'll see if they'll respond, guys.
Here's Burke after the made shot from Dwayne Wade. And the foul on Dwayne Wade. That's foul number 2 for him. Now, here's Burks. Wade is covered. Burks' shot is good.
These defenders look overmatched right now, especially inside.
Yeah, you look at the numbers, 10 of the last 12 points have come from close range, so I agree.
Allen for the 3. Here's Anderson. Hangs in midair and converts on the double clutch late. And the Heat lead by 1. Jazz have gotten it done so far from the field here in the 4th. Going 6 for 7. Utah calls timeout.
You know, part of being a championship team is having the talent first and foremost, but then managing the minutes of that talent. The Heat, I thought, did a nice job monitoring the minutes of the big 3 throughout the season and playoffs last year.
And the Heat making a change here. Doris Burke has an update for us. Doris?
I was able to listen in on what Tyrone Corbin was going over with his team. He was going over their game plan defensively against Wade. Coach wanted to reinforce how important it is for their defense to respond much more quickly and to be alert at all times.
Utah abriu um ponto. Faltando 3 minutos. Que jogaço dramático! Boa, Wade! Que jogo dramático! Faltando 3 minutos. Tem calma.
Once you try to win a 3rd title in a row, the emotional fatigue and exhaustion really becomes a factor. So this is going to be interesting to watch all year.
Boa, Wade!
Now it's a 3-point Heat lead.
He shot the ball exceptionally well as they built this lead for themselves here.
Jazz have gone 7 of 9 from the field down the stretch here in the 4th quarter. Terrific shooting. And Ray Allen gets the whistle. That's it. And that'll be his 3rd foul so far.
Que jogo dramático!
Man defense. Burke with it, and he gets the bucket.
You know, of the last 6 baskets, 5 have come on the interior. This is major smash mouth basketball, guys.
Love it. Old school. Physical play in the paint. Dominate.
Here's Chalmers after the made shot from Burke. The dish to Wade. Wade left side. And it's Miami with another.
That's been a great day for him. Remember, he gave us a huge performance their last time out as well.
And the Jazz call time here. They're behind by 3. 1:57 left in the game. And it is getting ready for Miami. Chris Anderson is checked in for Lewis. Hanson comes in for Greg Oden. Michael Beasley, he's checked in for Dwayne Wade. And Cole subbed in for Allen. Now here's Burke. He dishes it to Kendrick. Stolen by Anderson. Here's Chalmers. Here's Beasley. It's rebounded by Richard Jefferson. Jefferson's got 6 rebounds here tonight. Burke's with it. Now, guarded by Haslett. Cantor's shot is off. Danny Bell for the ball. Gets the second chance bucket.
Rapaz, faltando 1 minuto e meio. A diferença do Miami pro Utah Jazz é de apenas 1 ponto. Que jogo dramático. Não. Que jogo dramático. Boa, com 77-73. Abrimos 4 pontos. Faltando 51 segundos. Não vai errar, né?
He hasn't had as many opportunities at the line as he had in the first half.
Miami's gone 1 of 3 from outside the arc since we reached the fourth quarter. Here's Anderson. Rebound, Utah. Steve on a big possession right here.
No doubt, guys. You can feel the tension in this building.
9 minutes between the shot clock and the game clock. And the Heat all-time here. They're leading by 2. 29 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And some changes here for the Heat. Lewis checked in for Anderson. Allen comes in for Michael Beasley. And Dwayne Wade is subbed in for Mario Chalmers.
No doubt about it. Wade has found the touch right now.
Abrimos 4 pontos, faltando 26 segundos, cravado para acabar o jogo. Mas que jogo dramático. Falta de acertar, né? Alta. Boa, Wade. Abrimos 5 pontos. Olha o que o cara faz. Faltando 9 segundos, ele me acerta a cesta.
That's good, going 1-2 from the line, and that makes it a 3-point lead. And the Jazz with possession.
Boy, a 3 here would be huge. Yeah, a chance to tie it up and make it even with the game on the line.
Ganhamos.
Win by Miami in a tight game. Fuck, it was anybody's game right to the very end.
Yeah, it was. The coach is happy with the outcome. This team kept their emotions in check, got it done.
And now, down to Doris Burke, who is courtside, standing by with our Jordan player of the game. Doris?
Dwayne, how did you guys overcome the deficit on the glass tonight?
Well, first of all, that's an unbelievable rebounding team. So, they're very good. I think we made up for it with our energy. We had some steals, deflections, that kind of made up for the out-rebounding.
More than one way to skin a cat. Thank you, Dwayne. Kevin?
Doris, thank you. And for Steve Kerr, Clark Kellogg, and Doris Burke, and the rest of our great 2K Sports crew. This is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for joining us as Jordan presents our player of the game, Dwayne Wade.
Bom, pessoal, esse aí foi o vídeo de hoje. O Wade ali escolhido ali como o melhor jogador da partida, como vocês viram ali. E mais uma vez aí queria agradecer aí a todos que são inscritos no meu canal. Muito obrigado mesmo de verdade. Se puderem deixar o like, ativar o sininho para novas notificações e compartilhar, ok? E valeu!